Tampa Bay Spirits presents Haunted Campfire Tales Live. Welcome. Gather around the fire. Get comfortable, but not too comfortable. The true ghost tales are about to unfold. Hello.
Hi, I'm Rob.
I'm Joan.
Are you Les?
Hi, me. I'm Les. Beth is missing.
Jess.
Jess.
Oh,
no,
we
we can't
lost
hear
your
you.
sound again, Jesse.
Oh no.
I'm good.
Oh.
I just muted. Sorry. I was on mute for the I'm Jess. I said it 4 times now. Don't worry about it. We're professional.
All right.
I'm Robin. I'm Joy.
And this is our guest, Genevieve.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to the show.
And this is a good indicator on how it's going to be going.
Oh, Lord, I'm so sorry, guys.
Yeah, that was pretty smooth.
Paul says, greetings to the dream team. Thank
What
you.
kind of dream is it? I'm not sure, but okay. Hi, Paul.
We're just back from Gettysburg, Paul. Finally, we'll be having live Meet the Author podcast, too.
Starting next week again.
Starting
next Wednesday.
week. Yes.
Okay. Well, this is really exciting. We have a guest tonight from the faraway land called New Jersey. Genevieve is Keyport, New Jersey. She's the co-owner of the Parlor shop in Keyport. I think it's just the Parlor, right?
Yes.
Okay. And also she's the owner of a Jersey Shore ghost tour company and does all sorts of ghost tours all over town. So.
And you know how I can never remember the name of this podcast? Because I always call it the Haunted Happy Hour.
That makes me so happy.
It's in my brain forever.
Forever.
During COVID, we were part of Genevieve's Zoom meetings called the Haunted Happy Hour.
Support group.
It was the COVID.
It was.
The
definitely
COVID
a support group. Yeah.
We had Christmas together and New Year's Eve together.
And Tom Nally's chair.
In Tom Nally's chair,
Yeah.
who, by the way, Genevieve still comes on and watches
He pops into our show.
That's awesome.
With just the chair, and then he'll come on. But yeah, so Genevieve got a whole group of us together, and we became really good friends, and it was really salvation during that time.
It really was. That was like the only connection that we had at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We were the outliers, us and Dom, and the rest of you were pretty close to each other.
Oh, physical. I'm like, outliers? You guys were like right in the mix. What are you talking about? And it was funny because the whole premise, we started doing the Haunted Happy Hour because I was going absolutely out of my mind. I couldn't do ghost tours. I couldn't do anything. So I thought, okay, if I do some virtual tours, then I can at least, keep the business name out there, keep things moving a little bit. And one night we were doing a virtual tour, and that's when Dominic was on, and he said, he and Mary Kate said, we should do this, like have meetups and just chat. So then we started doing that. We did it once a week or once every other week. I can't remember.
Once a week.
Once a week there for a while.
Once a week. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had different topics we would talk about, different experiences we would talk about. It was a lot of fun.
All things paranormal.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Beth from the far bedroom says, hi, y'all. I enjoyed some of those Haunted Happy Hour shows. So fun. Beth can't be on the show tonight, so she'll just be chatting with us.
Hi, Beth. We miss you.
Oh, should we tell the story of Les and Jess and Beth and you and I?
We could do that.
I will.
We have another comment.
Okay. Sarah Blake. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all well this evening.
Sarah is our
The
girl.
show.
Yeah,
Pardon me?
Sarah is our seance girl.
Oh, Sarah,
Oh,
we were
wow.
just hearing all about you from Genevieve. Okay, so we were in Gettysburg, and it was after we had investigated the orphanage. And so Beth and Les said they were going to go. Okay, you cannot go on the battlefield, and we do not advise that anyone do ever break any laws. You cannot go on the battlefield after sunset, between sunset and sunrise. It's closed, so you don't
Big
go on
signs
there
everywhere.
everywhere. Okay. However,
It didn't say we couldn't go at midnight. I didn't see that on the sign anywhere.
so Beth and Les, Jess, Rob and I decided that it'd be really stupendous idea to go there, because what better time to see ghosts than, at midnight or 1 a.m. on the battlefield in Gettysburg, for goodness sakes. So we're in this parking lot in the middle of downtown Gettysburg. There's all kinds of people out having a good time. And Les and Jess decide there's a part of the battlefield right there, and there's all these monuments all over it, right? And they decide they're going to go in and investigate right then and there. So Rob and Beth and I decided not to, and Jess is running around like a cartoon character, running on tiptoe between monument and monument, and coming out and flashing pictures. Les is going,
thank you, flashing pictures.
and he said, I'm a gray boulder. If anything happens, I'll just be a gray boulder. Oh my gosh, they were so funny. So Beth and I are almost falling over laughing, right? I could no longer laugh. I was just squealing signs coming out of my mouth.
I thought
And
it
the
was a police
police,
siren.
the
It
police
was really
came.
you screaming.
The police came in
They
to the
did.
parking lot where we were, and comes around, and we're like, oh my God. We're all going to jail. But they turned
That's a
around.
boulder over there.
Yeah, that's a boulder, and what's the blue rock beside it? So anyway, he turned around and he left. So they beat feet and came back to the car. And then Beth said, let's go to, where did we go?
To
Something-
Iverson's
Pit.
Yeah.
Iverson's Pit.
Good.
Which is right in the middle of the battlefield.
I had to get some. I was happy I remembered the name, but
Yeah.
So Les was our intrepid leader, and he led us the wrong way on a wrong way. They're a small Lexus. We're in a huge pickup truck that's a 2500, so it's ginormous. And we had to turn around in this narrow street without knocking over all the monuments to get going the right way. And there's a police car parked
100 yards.
100 yards from us with his lights on. And we were like,
Not the emergency lights, just his parking lights.
did that stop Beth? I mean, did that stop Les and Jess and Rob from running out into the middle of Iverson Pit and start taking pictures?
no. We didn't go out in the middle. Don't
Okay.
tell tall tales.
All right, how
We
far
were
out
very
did you go?
respectful. We were standing on the edge, taking pictures, and then Beth came out, and I was like, I walked over to her at one point, and I was like, "Are you like sensing anything?" Because she had been picking up some spirits earlier in the day, and she goes, "No," and then she said, "But I'm scared." Not of the spirits, of the cop.
Yes.
I said, it's okay. The worst that's going to happen is he's going to come over and say, you guys have to go. We were being I just do want to say, we were being very respectful of all the monuments and everything. We were not disrupting anything. We were just taking pictures. So it's not like we were being disrespectful or running out in the middle.
Beth is speechless at this point with her comment.
So she then texted everybody, abort, abort, abort.
No, she did that first before when we got turned on the road.
which really made me laugh so hard I couldn't stand it. And then she said, I have a plan. I have a plan. And so I said, well, what's your plan? And she said, I'm going to say I was napping.
She's gonna save herself.
Throw us under the bus.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing, officers. I was
Yeah.
napping.
How would that get you out of trouble?
Well,
She
she had gotten back in the car. She was too nervous to be out there even taking pictures, even though we'd been out there for a while, and he clearly didn't care that we were standing there taking pictures. Like, and so she was in the car, and then she texted us from the car. Oh, I have a plan. I had a plan if he approaches us. And one of our other team members was on the chat, and she goes, "Who's approaching you?"
And Beth goes, the popo.
The popo. And we were like, "What's your
That
plan?"
was cute. Well, I
Pretend to
think
be
they were in
asleep.
Virginia at that point. They weren't even in Gettysburg anymore. Oh, no, I guess they were still in Chambersburg, but no, it was a really funny night.
It was
More than
very
one
fun.
day, we had ice cream for lunch.
3 days.
We did.
3 days.
It's always a good day when you have ice cream for lunch.
Always a good day.
Agreed.
We had a good breakfast and a good dinner. And a great
Midnight
lunch.
snack.
Yes, we ate too much on the whole thing.
Okay. Another account we heard from there.
Anyway, tell us about your store. Tell us about your ghost tour. Tell us all about Genevieve.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I'll start off with the story of the store.
Okay.
So, back when we were doing Haunted Happy Hour and all of that fun stuff, I had a podcast called The Creepy Parlor. And the reason I named it The Creepy Parlor is because my husband and I had aspirations of opening a store that we wanted to name The Parlor. So, and it's parlor with an O-U-R because we're fancy. So there's a store in New Hope, Pennsylvania that we love, and it's very similar, like in aesthetic. It was sort of like, we love this store, we want something like that in Keyport, but a little, our spin on it. And every time I go to this store, every time I go to this town, I go to this store. So one day I'm having lunch with my mom out in New Hope, Pennsylvania, and I'm like, okay, I gotta go visit the store because I love it. I just gotta go see the store. So I go to the store and I'm talking to the guy who's working at the gallery, and we're just chatting and stuff. And he said to me, "Do you ever go to Salem at Halloween?" And I said, "I don't, because I have a ghost tour, and like that's kind of my Halloween. I don't do anything. I'm part of other people's Halloweens." So I said, he said, "Oh, you have a ghost tour. Why don't you hire me?" I said, "Well, I'm in Keyport, New Jersey." And he said, "Well, I'm in Hazlitt, New Jersey, which is the next town over." Now, we were an hour and a half away from Keyport, and he just happened to be one of the co-owners of that shop. So
Oh my goodness.
I said, "That's funny." I said, "This is what my husband and I want to do, because my husband's an artist. We get talking about all of that stuff. We end up going outside and just talking for an hour and a half about how great it would be to have a similar, like an oddities and curiosity shop in Keyport, because it's got such a rich history and there's a lot of hauntings and stuff." So I said, "Thank you." So we start chatting. We exchange phone numbers. A couple days later, he calls me. His name is John. You guys briefly met him beforehand.
Yeah.
And we start just brainstorming. And his husband is one of our other partners, and he's absolutely creatively, he is just brilliant. He's amazing.
We met him earlier tonight too,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the four of us, me, my husband Danny, John, and his husband Rick, we all own the parlor together. But the crazy, Sarah. So I'm telling him about my vision of this place, and I said, "I already have a name for it. I want it to be called the Parlor," and I was very specific that it had to be O-U-R. Turns out that Rick, his husband, had the same name in mind, same spelling and everything for the shop that they wanted to have.
Cool.
So I'm like, okay, that's synchronicity number one.
Wow.
We had so many amazing stars align to get us into this space it got to the point where finally I said, okay, we have to stop saying this is weird and just accept these things as like the universe saying, go ahead, go do what you want. We're giving you all of the license to do this. One of the other crazy things is that the space that we're in many years ago was a photography studio, and this was my husband and I's photographer was in this space. So that's another little weird coincidence.
Synchronicity.
Yeah. But we signed the lease, and at first I have to say I was a little bit hesitant, like looking at the space. I was a little like, I can't quite see the vision. But Rick is, again, as I mentioned, he is a creative genius, and he mocked up a bunch of different things and showed us what this place could really be. And it has absolutely surpassed all of my wildest dreams and hopes. Yeah, it is, to say it's like, this is our heart is here, it's just unbelievable. So in addition to having oddities, curiosities, and artwork, we also sell witchcraft items. I teach classes here. We have tarot card readings. We have, I do pyromancy readings, which nobody around here does. It's, I read with candle flames. So we have that. We've got Rick, my business partner, also designs his own tarot cards. So, and as he walks by, he is also
summoned him.
Yes, also known as Madame Clara. So, so we've got all of that stuff, and then the coolest part for me too. Well, it's all cool for me. Is that my ghost tours now have a home. So we now start the ghost tours here. We end the ghost tours here. And the best part about it is that the space itself is already haunted. So we didn't have to bring anything in. We brought more stuff in, I think, but
I think you did.
This is just like, you're just like Disney. You end up right at the gift shop.
Yeah. It's a good marketing.
Gift shop.
Beth Riley says, road trip to the parlor.
Yes, road trip to the parlor, everybody.
Yeah.
Where is Keyport?
Keyport is in this mystical place that people disagree on whether or not it exists, which is central New Jersey.
Because I used to live in Jersey. Now I live in Pennsylvania. So I was wondering, like, how far?
Yeah, we are. We're about. We're the first stop along the Garden State Parkway to the Jersey Shore.
Okay.
So we're at 117.
Okay.
Yeah, if you were going to like Sandy Hook, like the beaches over there, you would get off of our exit. And we're situated right on the Raritan Bay, so we've got a lot of. You can actually look right out our front door and see the water, which is really nice.
Ooh, you might see me one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robin, you should go.
Yeah.
You should go.
Plan a day. I'm sorry, what?
How far are you from us?
Probably an hour and 45, maybe even 2 hours, but it's not that bad.
Oh, that's nothing.
I'll throw it in for you.
You went further to meet us in Gettysburg.
Yeah.
Oh, and that was a hard ride.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I was so worried. I was like, have you heard from Robin yet? I was like, should we text her? Like, I don't want to wake her up, but is she okay?
When I got off 78, that's when I got tired. I'm like, I'm almost home. Just keep going. Just keep going.
78 in and of itself is a rough place to ride. It's a rough drive on 78.
Yeah. It is.
Well, that's really exciting. It's really great that it's haunted. Did you know it was haunted before you signed the lease?
Not really. I mean, I don't think it was it came about very oddly. The previous tenant had a spiritual practice here, but her focus was holistic sort of things. She had the room that I showed you earlier, which I'll show you guys in a little bit. We call it the green room. The green room was a salt cave. So that was packed.
Wow.
Oh, I want to go to a salt cave so bad.
We are still finding salt. We've been here for 2 years. We are still finding salt.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
So do you think there's are there any attachments a lot of attachments to the articles that you're selling there?
I can
Yeah.
Or
tell,
that on the walls
I
and so
can
on?
tell you already.
Well, so originally one of the first things that happened, John and I both signed the lease. We came over here, we opened the door, and just we're taking a look around because we were like little kids at Christmas time. We were like, we got it. And he looked at me and his eyes got real big. He goes, I think somebody just hugged me.
Oh,
said,
neat.
Okay, all right.
Was it you?
You're like, yes, I'm hugging you right now.
So then a couple of days later, I had bought one of those little refrigerators because it was August. I knew we would need cool drinks if we're going to be painting and everything. And I brought it. I was here by myself, brought it into the back room, and I heard somebody go, I said, okay, cool. They like us. Whoever's here likes us. So that's important. Then we had a lot of little weird things happen. Weird. I keep saying weird. I got to take that word out of my vocabulary. Some experiences. We'll call them experiences. We were painting, and we painted every square inch of this place. We replaced the ceilings. We did a ton of work. I was the naive lunatic that thought it's only going to take us a weekend to do it, but it took us weeks and weeks and weeks to do it. Hi. Sorry, we're still open, so I'm saying hi to people. Oh, thank you. That's okay. My husband does a lot of it, and the gentleman up in front does too.
Go ahead, talk to your customers.
So we were standing up in the front room, which I'm not sure if I showed you yet, and heard a cat. And we're like, that's weird. So we went and looked outside. There was no cat. Then we started seeing the cat. Okay, there's definitely a cat in this place, but he's not ours. A couple weeks later, we're all off for the night because we really needed a break. We were here nonstop doing all the painting and everything. The next day I come in and John says, were you guys here last night? I said, no. He said, that's crazy because the neighbor heard music playing in here. And he showed me the wall in the hallway. The wall in the hallway had handprints going straight down the wall.
Uh-oh.
It looked like somebody had dipped their fingers in powder and went right down our beautiful purple wall. So now we start thinking, okay, someone's got a key to our place, or something weird, something's happening here. We're looking at the ceilings, like did somebody drop in? Did somebody come in through the window? What's going on? Because who's playing music in our store, our empty store, and who's messing up our paint job?
Yeah.
So we call the real estate agent, and we're like, does anyone else have a key? Nobody else has a key. We finally like, all right, we're coming to terms with the fact that we probably have some energies here. The building itself is from the 1830s. There's been a lot of Keyport. There's a lot of really tragic history. There's a lot of strange things that would definitely manifest as hauntings. So we get everything set up, and we're starting to see things. We're seeing shadow people. We're seeing various people throughout the store that are not us. That we're not even open yet. We're seeing these people. We start hearing mimics of our voices. I'm like, all right, we got something here. We got something going on. So, in addition to that, we also have quite a few haunted items that came in and probably brought some stuff with them. We have things that we officially know are haunted, and then we have other items that, as we bring them in, people who are sensitive, people who are psychic, pick up on the energy in there too. So we got a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I love it. I'm here for all of it. I want to be here all the time. I want to sit here. I'm here at night by myself. I'm like, yes, my friends.
Yeah. So the handprints, did they stay on your purple wall? Because that might have been kind of cool.
We wiped them off. we do still sometimes get them coming back. I'm not sure. Thank you. I'm not sure exactly where they came from. As I mentioned, it was a salt cave before us.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like, there's salt in crevices that we just can't ever get to, and it just starts coming out sometimes. Like we're constantly vacuuming and sweeping and all of that stuff, and every so often there'll be like a little pile of salt dust somewhere. So I started thinking that maybe it was our air handler was blowing some residual salt around, but I don't know. It's now becoming like a little more targeted. It's behind. I came in one day. There were some paintings that fell off the floor, off the ground, off the wall. Hello, paintings that fell off the wall that had the handprints behind them. So there's something happening with that, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah. So do you think that's a negative energy? Or
I don't feel
or
that
just,
anything here is negative.
so it's just wanting attention, or, yeah. Hello, I'm
We
here.
we had a the ceiling itself was replaced. It's a drop ceiling, but it's like the black. It's meant to look like an old tin ceiling. And over in the green room, we have a big lamp that I can show you guys in a little bit. And one of my partners put a gold fancy molding at the top of it, and we could not keep that thing up. It just kept falling. Like we tried glue, we tried hot glue, we tried Velcro, we tried all of this stuff to keep that up. And one day a psychic came in and she said, yeah, there's a little girl and she likes to mess with things that are high up. And she really likes being in that green room. She said, if you start leaving her toys, she'll stop messing with the things that are bothering you. So we finally got it back up. We started leaving her toys. We leave her candy from time to time. We talk to her all the time, and she stopped messing with it. So it's been about a year and a half since that has fallen.
That's cool.
That's good. Yeah.
You're still leaving toys?
All the time. And people keep trying to buy her toys, and we're like, nope, that's Emily's. I'm sorry.
That's funny.
Unless you want to bring Emily home.
No, I'm not allowed to leave. They're mine. They're my
She
ghosts.
stays here.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your ghost tours.
Oh my goodness. So the ghost tours actually were started in Keyport in 2006. 2008 we started tours in Red Bank. I was an employee of the company for many years, and then I bought the company in 2017. And it's a lot of history, a lot of very intense things have happened in this area that may contribute to the hauntings. Plus, we're by the water, so I always feel like that makes ghosts. I don't know. If you guys have any thoughts on that, let me know. These towns in this area are very old. We have some Revolutionary War history. We have pirate history. We've got Prohibition. We've got all sorts of mysterious things that have happened, and a lot of ghosts.
Well, I think with the touching of the water thing, my theory about that is like, water is so powerful, like the ocean especially, right? There's so much energy and power, and it's constant energy, like coming in and coming out. And I mean, who knows? But a theory could be like maybe it's like conductivity, like
especially salt water.
Yeah, it's a way for them, right? It's kind of maybe it's easier for spirit or entities or what have you to manifest or communicate or use, like drawing from that power, right? Like it's like a natural energy source that's like right there and super powerful. Maybe, I don't know.
And it's a good conductor of energy. So
Right.
their energy can be conducted through the water. And I think the same
In
with
theory, right?
Is there a lot of limestone there and stuff? Because
I don't
that's
know.
another thing that conducts spiritual energy.
I think too, a lot of these towns that are built on these, like on the waterfronts and stuff like that, they were some of the first settlements. They were some of the first colonized areas. So there's a lot of stuff from that too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then there's pirates. I mean, pirates are all around the eastern seaboard. There was
Yeah.
stories and legends.
And the indigenous people who were there before the Europeans
Absolutely.
came over.
Yeah.
So
And these were great places for them to gather too, because there was a really plentiful food source right here.
Right. Totally.
lobster.
A lot of crabs. We see a lot of crabs, and
Crab.
Newport itself was historically known for the Chingarora oysters. So they had a big oyster industry here, and they're trying to bring all that stuff back, the oyster beds and stuff.
Yeah, so they probably ate a lot of oyster and crabs,
Yeah.
In Massachusetts, it really was literally lobster. You could practically walk out in the ocean on the lobster. There were so many. All the poor people.
That scares me more than the ghosts.
Yeah.
Of course, you might not have your toes once you got
Right.
Yeah.
I think that was the one time I was scared on our investigation in Pennsylvania. Was I got up and moved because I was like, I hear something moving and I'm scared it's something creepy crawly. It's gonna get on me.
Not a ghost, but scared
Right.
of
No,
the
not a ghost. No.
Something with a tail or 8 legs, to be clear. So, more what I was worried about.
Don't you have those big land cockroaches or land roaches or something in Florida? Or am I mistaking that?
We
Palmetto.
do.
You're
Yeah,
talking
Okay, then
about
why were you worried about something else?
You're thinking of palmetto bugs.
Are you talking about palmetto bugs? Or
Yeah,
Palmetto
palmetto bugs. And
Is that what they're called? Okay.
yeah, well, they're huge. They are.
They fly.
Yes, they do.
They not only crawl, but they fly. Yeah, they're really awful.
But they taste good.
No, they don't.
Oh.
No.
Oh,
I gotta go.
A little chocolate
out.
on them, you're gonna go.
I can't.
A lot of crunching though you got to put up with.
I'm going to vomit right here.
okay. I gotta tell you real quick. I just moved into an apartment, and it was actually a really nice apartment. And I went to bed, and I woke up, and they covered my walls and ceilings, and I about had a heart attack. And I like snuck out of the room in my pajamas and went to a neighbor, and I woke the maintenance up in the middle of the night. And apparently they gotten in, like they burrowed somehow, and it was just a nest of them, and they just flew in. That was like, that was terrifying.
Yeah.
They were everywhere.
That's terrifying.
It was hundreds of them.
Oh my gosh.
This
I
is
was going
that's
to
a
tell you
campfire.
my
And
story.
when I started going out, they started flying across.
Oh my gosh.
Because I didn't know. I guess I might not have moved if I'd known they'd fly.
They fly. Oh my gosh. I was going to tell you.
We've digressed. I'm sorry.
When we were in Miami, we had an apartment in Miami, and I was asleep one night, and a palmetto bug fell off the fan over my bed onto my thigh and woke me up. I couldn't sleep for a month. It was like, oh my God. But you're talking about covering the walls and the ceiling.
Oh no.
I can't.
That is truly creepy.
That's much creepier than ghosts.
Yes.
1000%.
You're here. Everything is itching on Genevieve.
So Genevieve, how often do you do the tours? Is this off season, on season? What's your best
So
season?
I'm getting ready to start the season probably mid-July. I do my Keyport tours on Saturday nights, and I do Red Bank on Friday nights. So I think I'm probably going to do 2 tours per month until Labor Day, and after Labor Day, I do every weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, and I go all the way through to the second week in December, because in December we start doing a Ghosts of Christmas Past tour.
Ooh, fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
So do you cover a lot of haunted stories along your tour?
I've got, my goodness, I probably have about 30 stories in Keyport at this point. And I have about 50.
Do you mix them up with history?
Well, a lot of them are really based in history. So
Okay.
it starts off, I kind of start off with the historical background and then go into the ghost experiences that people have had. I wish I was on my cell phone, because I would take you guys over. Well, there's a car show going on outside right now. That's one really cool thing about our town. One of the many cool things about our town, I should say. There's constantly events going on, which is really nice. But anyway, our waterfront area is, people see ghosts down there all the time, and it's very, very active.
That's cool.
Cool.
We will have to take a trip to
I'm
Keyport.
thinking.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen anything on one of your tours? Have any of your
That is
tourists or anything seen anything?
So that's a really good question, and a lot of people do ask me that while we're out on tour. And up until a few years ago, my answer was always no. And I think it was because when I'm doing the tours, I'm kind of like, not in character, but I'm a little bit like, you're performing. So
You're focused.
Yeah. I'm also trying to keep people like out of the street and, keep everybody in line. But a few years ago, I was running a tour. Every year we do what we call our annual witch walk, and we have everybody. It's our regular ghost tour, but people are dressed as witches, which is.
I remember that tour.
Yeah.
I do remember that tour.
That's very fun.
It's really fun. But I had about 35 people on the tour, so when the tours get that big, you kind of have to get to your next stop and then just wait for everybody to kind of catch up. So I was waiting in front of our Historical Society Museum, and I felt this sharp shove on the back of my right shoulder, and it was such a sharp push that I took a few steps forward. And there was so actually Jen from our Haunted Happy Hour was in that tour. She reached forward to like try to stabilize me because she thought I tripped. So so up until that point, I had never had a personal experience on the tour. But that night I was so unsettled, because of course I love that they're here and I love interacting with them, and I'm fully accepting of the fact that there are spirits and energies here. But for one to actually like manipulate me was not cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to shove me was really not cool.
Yeah, it was really not okay. So actually, my sister Jillian was on that tour that night too. I called her on her way home, and I was like, I think I brought something back to my house. And she said, "What are you afraid of? You love this stuff." I do love this stuff, but this was a different vibe. Like, this was not our regular friendly Casper ghost. This was, I'm pushing you, I'm showing you I'm here. So that was by far one of my most profound touring experiences.
Wow.
Yeah, but we do get a lot of people that share photographs of evidence that they've found. We've had, actually just before I came on here, there was a couple that came in and they were asking me about the tours, and they said, "Oh, we've taken the tour a few years ago. It was great." And I said, "Oh, was I your tour guide?" They were like, "Now that you mention it, you were." But they were using a spirit box on the tour, And before I started talking about one of the houses where a doctor had lived, they got the word doctor on their spirit box.
Mm,
Oh,
So we
wow.
have a lot of that stuff that happens.
Okay.
cool.
Which is always great.
Mm-hmm.
That is great.
That is great.
Yeah.
You just need to bring them into the parlor, though.
Oh, they're here.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You just need to bring the tour into the parlor and say,
No, I do.
"Here you go. Have fun."
Do, and I have I sell things like sage sprays and banishing sprays and little mini ghosts that you can buy as souvenirs. So we've got we're aligned with our themes.
So if Tampa Bay Spirits wants to come there, we can spend the night in the parlor.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. If you want to do an overnight investigation, we are very happy to host that. We just
Aw.
had one 2 weeks ago, and the ghosts were actually is it another. I'll talk your ears off. I'm sorry.
That's what we're here for. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was actually coming back from a business trip for my day job, and my partners were here for the investigation. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go in. I'm not going to go in. I'm not going to go in. My flight landed at almost midnight. Driving home, I'm like, I'm not going to go. The guys have it. It's fine. I get a text from John, and he says, they're saying your name. So my name was coming through on the spirit box. I'm like, I guess I got to go. It's happened quite a few times. They don't say Jen. They don't say Jenny. They say Genevieve.
Cool.
So it's the first time I heard it, I was a little bit shocked.
Yeah.
And it's hard to like mishear the name Genevieve.
Yes.
It's a long name. So I'm like, all right, I guess I got to go in. When I got here, the spirit box said, the witch is here. Yes, she is.
That's very funny.
Yeah.
The party begin.
Yes. But they were here. The group was called Spooky Ventures, and they were fantastic.
Oh,
They were so good. They had REM pods. They had this trail. I don't know. Forgive me. I don't know the actual tools, but he had this string of lights.
Yeah, it's
That-
an EMF.
that lights up as it.
It lights up when
Yeah.
something passes through the EMF field. Yeah.
Yeah, they had that. It was so active in here that night. I can't wait till he gets all of the videos together because I will be
Cool.
posting them nonstop.
That's cool.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned the Estes method earlier.
Yes,
You've done that in the shop. Do
many
you do
times.
that often in the shop?
I have to be mindful of it because I find myself liking it a lot, and like I can easily see myself just doing that all day and like losing all track of my regular life. Yeah, we just did a session last week. That was another crazy story. We're hosting these. They're not really seances. They were originally intended to be a seance. And our friend Sarah, who had popped on earlier, designed this magnificent experience. It's not. It was meant. Originally, we're thinking we'll just all hold hands and call spirits. But Sarah is brilliant, and she went through and designed this kind of retrospective of how people have been communicating with spirits for the last 100+ years. So she starts off with communicating with candles and bells, and gives the history of the Fox sisters and all sorts of stuff.
Sarah says sorry about that in the.
Why is she sorry about that? It's amazing. It's amazing. It's my favorite thing. So we start off with that, then we move into automatic writing and Ouija boards and other modalities, and we ended up with the Estes method, which was intense. We were all sitting around, and one of our guests had the headphones on, and we heard a whistle. Now, John, who's right over here, over there, I'm pointing at him, and he's not even.
We can't see.
Yeah. So we hear that everyone in the room hears this whistle, and the woman who's wearing the headphones says, and then there's a whistle. John, his eyes got really big, and he goes, I'm going home. I'm out. I don't know if you just heard him. He's like, I'm out. So in addition to that, later that evening, same woman was wearing the headphones, and I was over on the other side of the shop, and I smelled matches. It smelled like that sulfur from the matches. And I turned to my partner, Rick, and said, did you bring anything in that smells like sulfur? Because sometimes some of the treatments on the statues and stuff smells like sulfur. And he said no. And as I'm whispering this to him, one of our guests who's got the headphones on is talking about the fire that she's now hearing.
Ooh.
And I'm like, okay, I like the validation.
Yeah.
Jess is really good at the Estes method, and so is Les's wife, Beth, who can't be on the show today because, but she's watching and listening, and they're both really good at that. And it's funny that you said about the whistle, because we were at a courthouse in Clay County Courthouse and jail. We were in the courthouse, and Rob was on the headphones, and I was asking the questions. And we were the only two people in the courthouse. The rest of the team was over in the jail because it was during COVID, and we're really old, and so we couldn't be in the same room with them. And so as Rob says to me, oh, I'm hearing whistling, I literally heard audibly with my ears whistling. It happened 4 times. That's crazy.
And then I mimicked the whistle and said that's exactly the same thing.
While he was mimicking it, the entity whistled along with him. So I heard both of them whistling at the same time. It's like crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we were recording it, and it was afterwards that Sarah mentioned to me that there were actually 2 whistles. There was one that we all heard, and then there was another one that came up on the recording that we didn't hear in real time.
Very cool.
Very cool. You've heard of Mace. Okay. She will return. But she left her little friend.
her little friend.
Sorry.
Have you ever heard of the May Stringer house here in Florida?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we were investigating there one time, and Beth was doing the Estes method, and she was talking, hearing from James was talking over, and he had hung himself up in the attic, and that's where we were. He hung himself up just outside the attic on like a little staircase kind of thing. And Rob was doing the SLS camera and literally saw him hanging.
I remember you sharing that with us.
And then Jess was talking to, oh, you're thinking of the hanging tree. That's
yes. I'm sorry. I got my ghosts confused.
Gettysburg.
And then Jess was doing it in this other entity, Gary, who turned out to be the funniest person we've ever heard in our whole lives. I mean, he was saying things that we were rolling on the floor laughing. He was so funny. And and he was just on top of everything. And they had told us, the docent had told us that he liked doing the flashlight method, and we'd been trying to do it all night, and nothing had happened. And so Jess has on, noise canceling headphones, and she has on a blindfold, and she doesn't know what's going on. And all of a sudden he turned on the flashlight finally, and he goes, "Did you see that?" And Jesse says, "Did you see that?" And we were like, "Oh my gosh." And then Beth said, "The last time I was up here, I got scratched." And of course, Jess couldn't hear that. And he says, "The cat did it." And Jess goes, "The cat did it." And
No,
we
I
go,
said that was the cat. I
"That
remember
was the
because
cat." Yeah.
I
That was the
I was
cat.
like, that was and I was like, cat? And I was like, I remember saying it a couple of times because I thought, that can't be right, like whatever they're asking, why would I be saying
That
that was
was
the
the cat.
cat? So, but I was like, that's what I'm hearing. I guess it's cat.
But then the docent said to us, "Did you know that there's a cat here? A ghost cat?" We said, "No."
When
And
we were done, yeah.
when we were done, yeah. And she said, "Yeah, the cat really did do it then."
Wow.
He wasn't just blaming the cat.
Yeah. They were like, "We have a cat. We have a
Yeah,
cat
and the
ghost."
We have a
cat
cat too.
I wouldn't scratch you.
The dog ate my homework.
I know, it was
Yeah.
so funny. I love the Estes method.
Yeah.
Oh, I really could just like do it all day. I literally have to like cut myself off. Like, okay, this this is not okay to do this often.
We might miss you at work. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's very like it's relaxing. It's calming. It's like
I
almost
can't do it.
no.
Oh, no. It's not calming or relaxing for me. The last time that I did it, so many spirits were trying to talk at the same time that it sounded like mosquitoes buzzing. It was really stressing me out because I couldn't say it all. I couldn't get
Yeah.
everything. So I said, "Yep, nope, I'm not going to do it." And Beth's sister, Kathy, the last time she did it, I saw her. She kept getting hotter and hotter and hotter and was starting to sweat. And I was just about to tap her out. And she just took the headphones off and said, "I can't do it anymore." So
Wow.
I don't think it's relaxing for everybody, but
Well, and I would say it depends on the entity I'm communicating with because there are times for me where I experience intense sensation. So like I will get the shakes really badly depending. That happened to me at the train depot
yeah.
talking with that William Hope guy.
Yeah.
And that was
Hope,
very
hope,
intense.
hope.
Yeah. And I got the shakes like that at the orphanage, but not while I was doing Estes, like before even.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so sometimes it's very intense for me, but it's really I enjoy it. I like doing it, especially when you're actually getting stuff. You're like, "Okay,
Hmm.
is this happening?"
I love asking the questions. And I'm sure everybody else, Robin and enjoy like asking the questions when someone's doing the Estes method. That's really fun, and you get answers
Especially
back.
when you get answers. Yeah.
When you get answer that I was gonna say, you guys have been with us, like, I've sat there and had nothing, like, come through where
Mhm.
I'm like, I get nothing, like, no, I'm hearing where, because it's scanning the radio, but there's nothing that I'm hearing from, like, that I'm supposed to be saying, so I'm like, I've sat there sometimes just like nothing.
That's frustrating when it's like that.
Yeah, it's kind of fun and it validates the other experiences you have though, because
Yes.
you can go, oh, like this is the same person with the same group of people and we're doing the same thing and the same equipment and I'm getting nothing this time, and
Mhm.
I think that's uh nice, when it validates the other really, really intense experiences you have.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
It is a
Some
bummer, but
Yes. Yeah. Well, the same thing with all of the equipment that we use, that if every time you got the same thing, then you would begin to think, "Oh, this is kind
yeah.
of odd."
Yeah.
But when it doesn't always work and then it does really work, then you're like, "Oh, okay, that is validating to me anyway." I think it is.
Yeah.
But anyway, we
Can I
consider
ask a question?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Can I mean you, Chris and Joan might already know that, or Rob, whatever your name is, guy,
Whoever I am.
bro,
That guy.
that
Depends
guy,
on what you
those
need.
two. They might know this already, but can, can you share, Genevieve, like how you got into the paranormal and what kind of got you started on that?
Oh boy. So I was one of those kids that loved Halloween and loved Casper the Friendly Ghost. I would push swings and like with no one on them and say they were Casper. My mom loved Dark Shadows and all the creepy TV shows, so I was always interested in that sort of thing.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, right. It's a common biography there. Um, so kind of started as a little kid. I loved all that stuff. I was always drawn to the creepier side of things. I think part of it is because I'm a Scorpio, so we tend to be drawn to that. Um, so I started getting into all of that stuff. I remember like distinctly my very first Ouija board experience where I was like, yes, I love this. This is all much like the Estes. I'm like, this is all I want to do
Yeah.
is play with the Ouija board. So from that perspective, I got really, I was just always drawn to it. Writing, reading horror books, stories, all of that stuff. I love Edgar Allan Poe, so that's another alignment, I guess. And then I started really actively getting into. I'm not like really an investigator by any means, but I started getting into that a little more when I started doing the ghost tours.
Okay.
And the thing with the ghost tours for me is that I love keeping the history part of it going.
Yeah.
And I think that when you have a haunting and you've got that correlation with some historical fact, people remember it.
Mm-hmm. I think it also does the job of humanizing things,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Right. And I think like, especially with haunted stuff, people can get lost from that and go, okay, like this is real spooky and like,
Yeah.
capitalize on it or whatever. But when you're humanizing it with like an actual story of like remembering, like this is a person that we're talking about essentially.
Yes.
So, right. I
Yeah.
think that's good too.
That's something I like that you pointed that out too, because that's something that's also really important to me too. Like we will not have an investigator or someone come in here that is disrespectful.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All of the
No
people that
provoking.
provoke. Yeah, no, absolutely not. And part of it, I'm not going to lie, part of it is self-serving. I don't want them to come in and agitate a spirit and disrespect
Yeah.
a spirit. And I'm the one who's left with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the humanity part of it that you just mentioned is incredibly important, and recognizing that these entities were once human. They still are human, right? They're still, that's part of what makes us human, is that we have this energy about us. So I kind of feel like I'm like like Jane Goodall or Diane Fossey of the ghosts. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to watch their cultural development and watch them from the outskirts and see what they do, how they interact, and how they fit into the environment, like the anthropologist of the ghosts.
So who keeps whispering?
Yes.
The audio.
Is
It's
everybody
Emil.
hearing
Is
that?
that somebody at your store doing that?
There's nobody here but me.
Because somebody just said it's impossible very
Yeah.
close to a microphone somewhere.
And also, can you hear me?
Yeah.
And
And then there was things I couldn't hear that were like
Yeah.
lower.
he's been talking almost constantly.
Yeah, I thought it was like a spirit box or something, like one of the,
I
was
did
like,
turn
oh,
my
maybe
spirit box on. Maybe it's that.
maybe it's picking that up.
Yeah, maybe it is, because
Okay.
Is it
my
on your
partner's.
connected to your thing or?
It's not, but my partner's just left, so I'm here alone, and I like to. Oh, yeah, I like to have that going when I'm by myself.
I bet that must be what we're picking up, right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
I
glad you
did-
found that out because I thought I was starting to hear things.
I
Oh,
did a
Les, tell her what your mantra is, Les. You never.
I never hear anything. I never see anything.
That's
never
right.
smell anything. Nothing. Zip.
I did a podcast.
But he does
for-
really, actually.
Huh?
You do. You heard the door slam when we were in that hospital, the South,
Yeah.
whatever.
South Pittsburgh.
Heard that.
I heard that.
How could you not?
I don't know. I thought they were coming after us.
I know. It was pretty loud. Then I stuck my hand through the hole and where the doorknob was supposed to be.
So Genevieve, now that you have no one in the store, would you like to give us a little tour and show us
Sure.
what's going on there?
Sure.
Maybe we'll see
So-
some customers.
You might. So behind me, I don't know how well you can see that because I'm on my laptop, so it's a little hard to get the camera
Yeah.
focused on things.
Yeah.
This is a blank wall. Well, it's a wall that we have visiting artists, so that's space for them.
Oh.
So every month we have a different artist,
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
which is
Yeah.
kind of neat. Usually they're local. So we've got that. We have back here, we have this beautiful apothecary over here. I'm not sure if you can see this in the day that we had the paranormal investigation,
Mm-hmm.
that boar that's on the wall
Mm-hmm.
fell off the wall. He's been there for a year and a half. He fell off the wall.
Mm.
The accordion, this is an accordion here. This right here. That has an attachment. It was used by a performer in the early 1900s, like a vaudevillian performer, and she was known to be a party girl. So apparently she's still attached to that. This right here
That's
is
cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. This table is one of my favorite things here. That was owned by a woman who did fortune telling in the early 1900s. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it, but it has the legs are like devil heads and they sit on crystal balls.
Cool.
So I'm not sure if
That's
I'm going to
really
be able
cool.
to show you. Sorry, it's a terrible way to do this, but
Oh, I see it.
Oh,
I see it.
that.
Yeah.
That's really,
Yeah.
really cool.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool. So that has some attachment to the medium that was here last week. That she is, they all think her name is Anna or Anne. And that has a really strong attachment. And he said to us, she keeps trying to read my cards, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So this is our back. This is like the back room. I call that our seance room. We're going to head into the green room. So if you can see that archway, well, there's a stained glass piece right there.
Mm-hmm.
This was a closed off room because it was where the salt was for the salt cave. And you can see the black ceilings that we put in.
Mm-hmm.
And that nice archway. We had a friend do that for us. But if you look, can you see that light, the pendulum light?
Yep.
Yeah.
The gold molding that's around that is the piece that I had mentioned earlier that we couldn't keep up there.
Mm-hmm.
Then
And
Emily
it kept
kept
falling
feeling
down. And now it's staying there. So we're going into the green room. The green room has a lot of activity in here. Let's see. We got a lot of stuff over there.
Gosh, you've got such cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of stuff. We got some jewelry over here. We got,
It's all for sale.
yes, it's all for sale. And if you see something on here, reach out to me. We can ship it.
Aw.
Except for the little girl's toys.
Except for
Yes,
Emily's
right.
toy.
that. We've got some really spooky,
Ooh,
they are marionettes. some candles. We make all of our own candles here. A lot of taxidermy. It's unsettling to me sometimes, the taxidermy.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Let's see. So now we're heading, this is the front room. So you see behind me, that's our front door
Mm-hmm.
and our very classy fire extinguisher.
Spooky.
Yes, very spooky. Hopefully we never need it.
Yeah.
So we got some paintings. You see Poe behind. We got
Yeah.
Poe there. We've got, if you guys are fans of American Horror Story, that's Liz Taylor from American Horror Story. Really excited about this. This is going to have, we have these the little plastic, little toy things,
Mhm.
little plastic gumball things, and we're selling tokens for this, and you can get all sorts of cool prizes when you get a gum. You're not getting a gumball, you're getting something really cool.
Right.
Fun.
This is another one of my favorite pieces. I'm not sure if she's showing well. This is a scrapbook that was collected and collated by a woman who was a spiritualist in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Her name was Mary Willis. She was from Drexel Hill, Pennsylvania. She was born 1848. She died in 1927. There is so much energy in this book that when you touch it, your hands get tingly. There's things in here like obituaries, recipes, sheet music, all sorts of wild stuff that really, I'm sure, had some big significance for her.
I just heard a cat.
So did I.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, my friend is here. Excellent.
Yep. Heard
Excellent.
a cat meow.
Excellent.
A few times.
Yeah.
Very important.
There, he just went again.
Very
Oh, there's
important.
music.
I hear music. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a party going on out there. We got, this guy is new. Rick made him. Yeah, he's kind of a little forest creature.
Mhm.
Of course, we have our friend the Raven.
Yay.
Yeah. I've got some like oils and stuff like that I make. Very important thing to have here by the beach.
Bug banishing spray.
Yes.
Very important here in
Nice.
Florida too.
Very important. Very, very important.
As discussed.
Yes. This is the hallway that is on the other side of the green room. So we're heading back toward the seance room. Gold skeleton hanging from the ceiling. This is a lot of my husband's artwork.
Cool.
Adam's family.
I love that.
Yeah. Poe.
Tesla. Oh,
Good.
He is good.
Yeah, this was the very first piece that Danny ever did on canvas. I don't know how well. Yeah, that one. And
Nice.
he did that.
cool.
Yeah. He had never done canvas stuff before. You guys may recognize that one. You can't really see it from there, but she's got flowers.
Oh, yes.
Yep. Got this guy. Lots of stuff. On this side of the wall, we have there's some Victorian pieces. It's hard to see. I'm getting a lot of reflection from the light, but I'll go back a little bit, see if that works. There is a gentleman in town who works for the Historical Society, and sometimes he comes in and takes he buys these old photos and does a lot of research and reunites them with their families.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, that's cool. Really cool.
That is cool.
We got a wreath.
That is
it's not
really a lovely thing to do, huh?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
This is the wall that had the handprints on it. So I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it from here, but there's still some residual right here. It literally looked like a child had dipped their hands in powder and ran down the wall.
Maybe Emily did it.
Maybe.
Did you ask
Maybe.
her?
Not yet.
You should ask her.
Oh, here's another part right there. I don't know if you can see it. It's there's a little glare, but
Yeah, I think we can barely see it right there. There's like a little,
Yeah.
yeah. So then, what else do we have? Oh, over here we have, this is a lot of my stuff that I make, like the sage sprays, banishing sprays, candle magic, all that stuff. This is a shrine to the goddess that I work with. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yep.
And I'm crazy. I made a giant black scrying mirror. Made a very large scrying mirror.
Cool.
And then I'll go back.
Now,
And
what are you saying? That what kind of mirror?
Scrying. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
It's used for divination. It's used to see visions or
Gotcha.
the conduit.
Okay.
That mirror right there is that mirror.
It's something creepy about it.
Yeah.
It's haunted.
That mirror is giving me a headache.
Is it?
Yeah, I have a chill going down my back right now.
Does it give other people headaches?
Yes. I'll tell you the story about that real quick. There's a restaurant here in town. I know the owner from doing ghost tours, and he reached out to me to see if we would take that mirror because he had it in his restaurant and it was over one of the tables. And he said that repeatedly people would get into fights when they sat at that table. They'd be nasty to the servers.
Wow.
They had brought in a medium to cleanse the place, and she said that there was something with that mirror. She said that it was something to do with drugs, and that the spirit that was there refused to cross over. So then they had a second one come in, and they had a similar experience. They could not cross over the energy that was tied to the mirror. So I said, yeah, we'll take it. Yes, we'll take it. And honestly, I was a little apprehensive at taking it at first because it sounded like it was not pleasant energy. But we have quite a few friends who are investigators, and our friend Brian took it and did some work on it, and he didn't know the history, and he told us that when he approached the mirror, he felt his arm get really numb and cold. And he's told us that he thinks that the person that is attached, the entity that's attached, didn't mean to die. She was angry with herself for going out, as he said, she was angry with herself for going out the way she did. And now she's kind of trying to live through being attached to the mirror. So I can see if that's the case, I can see why she would probably be a bit overwhelmed in a busy restaurant, and maybe just our space is a bit more conducive to that, and she likes it here. Maybe that's why she hasn't been disruptive here. But yeah, I've gotten headaches from that too.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah. A few other people have. We have readers and stuff that come in here, and they've had some opinions of that mirror.
Yeah.
But the other thing that might be causing you some issue, there was a black bunny that was sitting right in front of the mirror.
Yeah.
Our friend Sarah bought the bunny. The bunny's name is Enola, and brought the bunny back because lots of bad things were happening once Enola was home. So she's now temporarily back at the parlor. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff.
So I'm not sure whether it was the bunny or the mirror, but something definitely gave me a headache, like a type band across the top of my head.
Are you okay now?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Good.
I was okay then. It's just, one of those things.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had a lot. I did bring out the book to flip through, but I think it's interesting that you guys were hearing the cat. I mentioned the first time we saw the cat was when we were painting, but we've had customers in here. We've had some of my students have seen the cat. The medium that was here for the paranormal investigation a couple weeks ago, he picked up on the cat right away. And we didn't give him any background information. We didn't tell him anything about the store. And some of that stuff, like the cat and Emily and some of that we don't post that, we're not. So for him to have picked up on that was pretty nice. It was validating for me.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is cool. It's really cool.
I love it here.
There was like a man's head by the
a face behind the
face.
The doll.
By the accordion.
Yes.
Yes. That thing's. I had to stop looking at it. It was,
really?
I don't. Yes, I just.
It jumped out at me too.
Yeah, I had to turn my head away because I thought I cannot look at it anymore.
I don't even think we have a story about that one. I know he's wax. I'm not sure if he's.
That's even creepier.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's a death mask or a life mask. We don't know who it is.
Isn't he smiling?
Yeah, I think he is.
He's smiling.
Well, there's a guy. There's two of them.
Yeah,
there's two of them.
If like the accordion is here, and then there's two things in the front, and he's behind those two.
Yeah,
he's kind of peeking out.
Yeah, he's peeking out, and he looks real.
Yes. Yeah. And the one that's in the cabinet is smiling, and he kind of looks like a weird Alec Baldwin. Yeah, there's lots of things in that cabinet.
Alec, if you're listening to this, we apologize.
Well, I won't say what I was going to say then. Then we really have to apologize.
Yeah, there's lots and lots of things. We have that giant cauldron. I don't know if you could see that. We call her the morning lady, but she's a mannequin dressed in a Victorian morning dress, like a real morning dress. I was beside myself when my partners brought that in, because they brought the dress in first in a box and we unboxed it together. And I just, you guys know I love that Victorian stuff.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't put it on and do a tour right then and there.
I'm afraid of arsenic because they used arsenic and everything.
Yeah, even the wallpaper.
That'd be a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of them got very sick from the arsenic in the wallpaper.
The old lace.
In
the old lace, yeah.
The dark green wallpaper had.
Yep, arsenic green.
Arsenic green, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The old paints
were fun times.
But it was beautiful.
Yes, it was.
I'm trying to think what else we have that I can show you. There's so many things.
Or are there any things that jumped out to you in the book that you brought over that would be fun to share?
Let's see.
The journal.
Yeah.
I started this on March 20th of 2023 because it was like very clear at that point that we would need to start writing stuff down. And I wanted to make sure that I wanted to see if there was any consistency or if we had repeating patterns, if we had different time periods or anything that were more active. Let's see.
That's smart because it can also help you recognize like, oh my gosh, like, if there were things happening consistently at that time that would explain it other than something paranormal, right? Like just like natural things happening that you could go, oh, this is probably this. So that's smart to do.
Actually, our first entry, March 20th, it was one that I wrote. I was setting up chairs and tables for tarot class and saw a black cat in the green room. He ran across, jumped up on the coffin, and disappeared. We have a coffin in the green room. Coffin.
Of course.
As one does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
So, not to be rude, but I just want to inject one little thing in here. I may scoot out about 9 because I really wanted to see the presidential debates tonight.
Okay.
I mean, everybody needs popcorn and some comedy. But yeah, I kind of, if that's, I mean, I don't want to be rude.
That's okay. Just
that's no problem.
Take some Kleenex. You might be crying.
I was going to say, we got to laugh so we don't cry.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
Sorry, my camera just moved.
What else?
By
What
itself?
else is in your journal?
Let's see. Oh, we got so many things. We've got a lot of people get their hair touched in here. It almost feels like someone combing your hair, like fingers going through your hair. And we've even had customers like say that. So that's definitely something that's a recurring thing. Let's see. Someone just simply wrote, my experience as soon as I walked in, I got the chills. It was an amazing experience. So that was a customer. Shadow people, shadows of people, like actual just shadows when no one's around. I came in one day, I found two of Danny's ghost paintings on the floor, and there were those weird handprints behind on the wall. Let's see. Whispering in the back room. So the back room I didn't really show you guys because it's like our workspace back there. A lot of activity back there. Several mediums that we've had in just didn't even want to go back into that space. So I'm not sure exactly what it is, but the building itself, if you go into the basement, you can see that there's almost like a different foundation for that part of the building. So I'm not sure if that's the older structure. There was a big fire in Keyport in 1877. And I don't know if this was actually affected by it, but our historic plaque on the wall outside says 1831, I think. But this part of the building feels newer, like just based on the moldings and the fixtures and stuff like that. Like it just doesn't feel quite that old. So I don't know if that was if that was maybe the original part of the house and this part burned. I'm not sure. The house itself, I mean, the building faces that way, but the room that I had shown you a little bit ago that has all my sage sprays and stuff, years ago, that was a front porch. So the house, it was a house and it faced that way. So there's a lot of like strange, different architectural features. Like you can see from the outside that there were windows on here, but they're gone. So we do see people. I just saw something right now. We do see people like just walking through and almost like going right through the wall. Like this wasn't the wall when I was alive. Like that kind of vibe. A while ago, it was last Christmas. Do you guys know Christy Sumner, Soul Sisters Paranormal?
Oh yeah.
I was on her and Miranda's podcast because they now have that haunted jail in, I want to say
Tennessee.
Yeah, I was on their podcast and I was here alone, and you could actually, people could hear, they were picking up on the things walking through the space while I was on the podcast. So that might happen since I'm alone. That might happen. We had a candle that randomly exploded. It was not lit. It was sitting on the in the bathroom on the back of the toilet, and just the glass just exploded out of nowhere. That was weird.
Yeah,
Let's
that's.
see.
You would say so.
I hope nobody was using the toilet at the time.
No.
That would be
That would be-
unpleasant.
Yeah, that would be shocking.
Yes, it would. So we kind of ask people when they write something in here to kind of like not just give the experience, but also like could there have been something else around you that would have created that experience? One of my students wrote that we were getting ready to do a meditation in class, and he looked down and saw a cat's paw reaching out to his foot. And he said there was nothing below or on the side that could have caused that shadow. It was reached out in like a playful way, and then when he looked down, the paw pulled away back under the chair. Oh, another fun thing that I do. There's another cat story here. The last Thursday of every month, not this tonight, I postponed it till tomorrow, but the last Thursday of every month, we do something called the Fancy Mancy Divination Club.
In the
Each-
parlor.
Yes.
Hello.
In the parlor, yes. So yeah, each month we focus on a different type of divination, and none of us are like experts or anything on it. We're just, I always say it's like a book club but cooler. So we all come together, we experiment with some kind of mancy and have fun. Tomorrow I can't remember what tomorrow is. But we've done like the tarot, we've done pendulums, all sorts of different divination techniques.
We know someone, actually, we met her on our other podcast, on Meet the Author podcast. And her name is actually Shelley, and she reads shells.
Oh, cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Just about-
And she started it. She's the first person to do it. And it's really accurate. It was really accurate for me anyway.
That is so cool.
And me.
And you, oh my God, so nailed, Robin, so well. The rest of us burst out laughing when she said what it was.
Problem with authority.
I love when a reading calls you out. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm going to scoot out. It was so nice to meet you. Your shop
you.
is just magnificent. I mean,
Thank
it's
you.
just so cool.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Have a good
Joy.
night,
Good night,
Joy.
everybody.
Bye,
Good
Joy.
night.
Bye.
Say hi to Terry.
Yeah. Give her a love.
Yes.
Is tomorrow spirit communication using candles? Sarah wants to know.
Yes. Tomorrow is spirit communication using candles, and Sarah is the one who showed us how to do that. So I hope Sarah's here tomorrow.
So her fancy Nancy is going to be what you manced for her.
Yes. It really is like it's the manifestation of everything that we always wanted to do. We get to experiment with all these really cool, fun things and share those experiences with people that are interested in it too. So it's kind of like in the same vein as Haunted Happy Hour. We all got together for a common cause and something that we all had a like interest in, and then it just blossomed.
You know, I think that now at this time, people are much more open to this sort of thing than ever before, you know,
Definitely.
because, you know, everybody always thought we were really kind of woo-woo. And Jess will tell you that she'll always say to us, I forget that people weren't raised by you and Dad, because
I had a shocking moment when someone I knew that was my age a few years ago was like, what is Area 51? And I was like, whoa.
Oh,
Wow. Yeah.
Sheltered child.
Yes. I was like, we have had very different childhoods and
wow.
like life experience, because I was shocked. I thought like truly, it was like one of those things you didn't think about other people not knowing about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're like, doesn't everyone know? So
The knowledge.
yeah. So, you know,
And
but
people
yeah.
were surprised when Obama said, "Oh yes, there is an Area 51," and everybody in our house went, "Duh."
Yeah. Yeah.
We knew it.
duh.
Seriously, but but before, I think now it's just much easier to have a podcast like this and talk about it
Yeah.
and not have everybody think you're crazy. You know what I mean? Well, I'm sure a lot of people do think that we're crazy, but I
Yeah.
remember one
That's
time
okay.
we were doing an investigation at the White House in St. Augustine, and we were doing the flashlight method, and it was just we weren't doing a private investigation. It was like, a whole tour group. And so we just did our thing. And we were talking with the Pete, the lighthouse keeper who passed away and was there all the time. And he was answering questions and people were saying, I could hear what people were saying, that the oh, it's rigged, and this is phony, and they have that flashlight rigged somehow. Our grandson was about 15 at the time, and he turned around, he got upset. I don't care, but he got upset, and he said, "These are my grandparents and they don't lie."
Aw.
I know. But then after it had gone on for about 45 minutes or an hour, we said, "Okay, Pete, we need to leave, so we'll say goodnight now." And a man standing beside me said, "Can I see that flashlight?" And I said, "Sure." So I handed him the flashlight, and he took it completely apart. And then he turned around and he said to everybody that was standing there, to the whole crowd, he goes, "This is just a regular flashlight. There is no way they could have made it do that."
Yeah.
But I think that kind of thing, that doesn't bother me if people don't believe it. You know what I mean? But at least now I think it's more accepted, and you can talk about it and have an open discussion, and people don't think you're really nuts, because I think it's much more common.
Well, you have all the TV shows too, but it's almost like one of those things. Are the TV shows in such demand because there's more interest now, or are the shows creating more interest or making it more mainstream? Maybe it's a little bit of both.
Yeah,
I
I think
definitely
a little
think
bit.
Ghost Hunters helped, make it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But even in terms of spirituality and things like that, there's many years ago, people wouldn't openly say, I practice witchcraft. Now we have people coming in here asking us how they can start doing it. Like, where do they get started? How do they figure out what they need? What do they need? That there's a lot of open discussion about it, and a lot of it really is people just looking for a better way to connect themselves to their spirituality. That's really overall, that's what we teach here. That's the premise of most of our classes, is helping people get in touch. And I think that's a large part of it that's consistent for both aspects, the paranormal and the spiritual. People want to connect with something bigger than the here and now. And that seems to be a growing trend, which I'm grateful for.
So you have classes there. Can people learn about them on the internet, on your website? Do you have a website?
We have a website. We don't update the website quite as often as we should, only because it's terribly annoying to update the website. It's very annoying. I'm not a website person. We do a lot on our Instagram page. So if you guys are interested in following us, we do a lot there. It's instagram.com/theparlorkeyport. Remember, it's OUR, parlor.
We're fancy.
Yes, we are fancy. Fancy Mancy. Fancy Mancy here. So we do update that a lot. We talk a lot about the stuff that we're doing here on our Instagram and on our Facebook. We also have our own podcast too, called Parlor Tea, That's every Tuesday. That's at 7:30, and we have all sorts of odds and ends and friends and people on that show. So we do a lot of stuff. We're constantly doing something.
That's great.
That's good.
Cool.
Good.
Aren't you so happy?
I'm so happy. This space just makes me so happy. And the other really great thing about it, I'm going to pat ourselves on the back a little bit. So many people, this is their happy place too. People that come in, they come in and they're just excited to be here. And that makes me really happy because it's
you
bigger
have a lot
than
of
us.
a lot of return.
Yeah,
customers,
definitely.
regular customers, we should call them.
Yes.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
We have
It's
some.
like the spiritual cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. We have tarot readers. Sarah is one of our readers. My friend April is another. You guys may have met April actually in
We
Haunted
know
Happy
April.
Hour. Yeah.
Yep.
She's one of our card readers. So we rotate different people that come through. Lots of stuff. Oh, next week. No, 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we're doing a date night event here.
Huh?
It is riotously funny. It's paint your partner night. So
Like
you
their
get
bodies? No.
No. Although maybe we'll make we did one last month and I laughed so hard I had an asthma attack. So we provide you with the canvas and the easel and the paints and all of that fun stuff. And then you do portraits of each other. And when you're done, it's like the big reveal.
The reveal. Yeah. I've seen this and it's funny. Yeah.
Have you seen that commercial on TV where they do that? And the girl has done this absolutely beautiful portrait of her date, right? And she shows it to him. He goes, "Oh, that's good." And then she said, "Okay, show me." And it looks like something a kindergartner would have
Yes.
done.
Yes. Yeah, that's kind of what we did. It was so much fun though that we're doing it again. We're doing that on July 13th, and then July 20th we have our next calling the Beyond event. So that's our souped up seance, our turbo seance event.
Turbo seance.
I don't know how else to describe it. If Sarah's still on here, she can let us know how to describe that better.
I think she probably still is. It'll
Probably.
take her a minute to type it in,
Yeah.
but as you remember from when you had the creepy parlor,
That sounds fun.
that was a good show, and you were.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, that was the year that everyone got a podcast, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And
Couple
look at
weeks
us
ago.
all now.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago last week on Parlor Tea, I had Jillian, my sister, on, and we did a Sinister Sisters reunion because we had that podcast for a while. Yeah, it was a good time.
That's awesome.
It is awesome. And here we are, still doing Meet the Author.
That's amazing. How long has it been? Has it been 3 years?
3 years, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yep, 80,000 downloads, and like I said, the Atlanta show is over 600, about 600,000 listeners just in the first quarter of the year.
It's an FM radio station. Oops, excuse me.
That is so cool.
Can I say something? I am so happy that I found you because I don't know even how I contacted you to see if you would interview me because you guys have become like my best friends.
Aww.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember how you contacted us either, but I'm glad that you did. Because look at us now. We drove to spend time in the Jenny Wade house. And by the way, that was a poppin' night. You wouldn't believe it. Oh my gosh. I mean, you talk about a lot of activity. It was the first time that Robin and Joy had ever been part of an investigation, they're ruined.
I expect this every time.
Every investigation is going to be like that. I mean,
it was like on steroids.
It was, yes,
and
upstairs and downstairs both at the same time. You could hear REM pods going off all over the place.
Oh, I love it.
Oh yeah, and flashlight sessions going crazy, and I mean it
Cat
was really
balls.
Cat balls, yes.
Cat balls were going
cat
crazy.
balls are the great. Yeah, they're great.
Thanks,
I've
Paul.
never seen them.
for joining.
I've never experienced them lighting up on an investigation before. So
Oh, that's so
I was like,
cool, though.
hey.
But it was really great, and that for it to be their first investigation, I thought, oh my goodness.
Because I didn't really expect much, because I thought, because I know that a lot of times there's really could be nothing
happening,
and it was just amazing. It was just, yeah.
The orphanage was really good, but it was a different experience. It was a completely different vibe.
It was there was that oppressive lady there, so that was not good. It's terrible to think of those children in life being abused by her, and now in death too. I don't like it.
No.
Don't like it at all. Well, we never hear from Jenny Wade at the Jenny Wade house, and so all this stuff was going on, right? So I decided, and we never look things up ahead of time because we want to go in cold, because we're almost all sensitives. And her real name was Virginia, and her nickname was Ginny. And one journalist used the name Jenny, and it stuck ever since. And they even named it the Jenny Wade House. But they know her name was Virginia and that her nickname was Ginny. So they said to us that she never contacts anyone. They never get in contact with her. That just doesn't happen. So I read that, and I read that to everybody, and we started calling her Ginny. Guess what?
She came out.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
I mean, my name's Joan. So then if after I passed, they kept calling out Jane, I wouldn't answer either.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, people do that to me. I have the opposite problem. People often call me Ginny instead of Jenny, and I don't answer.
Yeah.
Didn't we have a discussion? We had a discussion, didn't we?
Les.
Jenny.
No, Liz.
What was it?
Get out of here. Get out of here, Liz.
You were the only one that had that discussion.
Okay. All right.
He said, Ginny, that sounds the same. We said, it's Ginny and Jenny. And he goes, that's what I said. Jenny.
Sounds the same to me.
It's nothing alike.
So we started calling him Liz instead of Les.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's not
fair.
right.
That's fair.
Les just said, oh, no, that's not right. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, and I know that we got in touch with her because, like I said, there are a lot of sensitives there, and you can tell who you're talking with, like her spirit came across way different than her sister Georgia's, who who Georgia talked to us for a really long time. The docent who let us in said, this is Georgia's rocking chair, and you might not want to sit in it because she likes to knock people out of it. So the first thing I did was sit in the rocking chair. I said, okay, I want to be knocked out of the rocking chair. Go ahead. Go ahead. And I felt so much heat on my back. It was crazy. But when people touched my back and touched the back of the chair, they were both cool. But I could feel all this heat.
Yeah.
An amazing amount of heat. And Joy was actually doing an EMF reading, and the EMF was going off behind me. So then we each took a turn in the rocking chair. Same thing happened to everybody.
It was amazing. As soon as your hips made contact, they started to heat up. And then when you sat back, your back heated up. But when you reached back, your clothes and everything were still ice cold.
Mhm.
It was,
Interesting.
yeah.
Really interesting.
We had
That was Georgia.
we had an experience here. Actually, happened 2 nights in a row. A couple months ago in New Jersey, we had an earthquake, which is not normal.
Ooh,
It shook my house up here in Pennsylvania.
Wow.
it did.
Yes, I thought it was the cat. I thought, is the cat on the bed? Because I have a big cat. Is he scratching the wall? And then all of a sudden, everything's shaking. And I'm like, nope, that's not the cat. It was,
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't
Well, we
imagine
had-
what it was like in Jersey.
It was interesting. We had 2. This like we have the aftershocks and stuff like that. But the
Right.
day that it happened at 10 o'clock in the morning. It happened again at 6. The one at 6 was about the same strength as the one at 10, and I was at the shop at the time of the second one, and it got very warm in here, and I felt an energy in the green room that I couldn't describe. As I was trying to capture the description, I was on the phone with a friend of mine trying to describe this energy I'm feeling. We have like those Harry Potter candles in the hallway, the battery operated ones that hang from the ceiling.
Mhm.
And the batteries just get drained here all the time. Shocking.
Oh, I bet.
So the candles were out. As I'm describing this energy, one of the candles starts glowing. I'm like, okay, thank you for the confirmation. But the temperature in here rose about 4 degrees.
Oh, wow.
And then it
No.
happened again. Our heat was off, and it happened again the next day where we were talking about this energy, and the heat went up about 3 to 4 degrees.
Wow.
Now,
It's
I wonder if
really-
that could be from the energy from the
Earthquake.
earthquake causing that. I don't know.
Yeah, we were debating on whether or not something was unleashed.
Well,
Three cats were just unleashed into my room, so living ones, but they all got ushered in here, so
that's
So it is now about to become chaos for you.
yeah. That's right.
they're all sweet kitties. One is blind. She had to have her eyes removed, so she just has
A little fuzz face.
Aw.
She
I know.
she can see. I mean, I don't know how, but she
That's
can
her magic.
Yeah.
Oh, you better believe it. I mean, she will find a toy that you don't even know how she found it, and she'll flip it up in the air and catch it and find.
Yeah, there's nothing that's going to stop them from attacking something.
She was sitting like on the back of she was sitting on the back of the couch where our other cats were looking out the window, and or the other cats usually will sit there and look out the window and watch like cat TV. You know, they'll watch the squirrels and the birds and whatever. And the other day we walk in the room, she's sitting up there and she's like looking out the window. I'm like, what are you doing even? Like you can't see anything. So it's
She can see.
she's very funny.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. She can see. I don't know how she can see, but she can
I
see.
don't know.
She's precious anyway.
Yeah.
Glad you rescued her.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, folks, we are closing in on 2 hours again.
So yeah, we should
Oh my
probably
goodness.
end the show.
Yeah.
This was
Thank
so
you,
much
everyone.
fun.
This-
Thank you so much.
Thanks
Nice
for
meeting
joining
you.
us.
Thanks for joining us.
Nice meeting you.
We wanted to get you on for a long time, so
Yeah, I'm glad that we could make it happen.
Too bad Jillian couldn't drop by and say hey.
I'm going to message her again. We'll catch it. We'll have to schedule some time to catch up. Maybe another haunted happy hour
We'll
that we
figure it
won't broadcast.
But let's not drink on this one, okay?
Yeah, no, we won't broadcast that one either.
Oh, remember that one? I'm not going to say any more than that. but
Yes,
that one
yes,
where
I
you-
do. It happened twice. Yes. We'll just say that we were hacked.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Genevieve was mortified. I was laughing hysterically.
That was the first time it happened was when Ted was on to see what we do so that I could have a show on WLFE.
Ted is the station manager, by the way.
Yeah.
You sure saw what we did.
Yeah, he saw something.
I bet you didn't know he didn't know you could do that. So
Here's a
No.
picture. Here's a picture of our team at Gettysburg.
Oh, look how
Nice.
happy everybody is.
Gettysburg 10.
I look like somebody just goosed me.
Boy, I know.
Les is
Wait,
behind
who's
you.
behind you?
Yeah.
That's at the Jenny Wade house.
Yeah.
Should we say
That
the
is
Jenny,
so cool.
Jenny Wade?
Yeah,
Jen-
start that. Start the renaming.
I know.
It
Right?
just,
Why
it
did you do
just
that?
bothers me. It really does. It bothers me because that's not her
Bothers
name.
me too.
Right.
Yeah,
just
it's not who
because
she
some
was.
Journalist.
a journalist called her that. After all this time, you'd think they would have corrected it.
Yeah. I'm sure that historian that comes in and buys the pictures and reunites the pictures with the family members, I'm sure that would horrify him to know that because
Probably.
he would never do that.
Well, it was really cool to see your shop and everything. Thanks for sharing it all with us.
Great
Thank
show.
you. I'd
Great
love to have
show.
you guys here. It's as cool as it is on video. It is the vibe in here is fantastic.
I'm sure we would really love to be there, but you might be sorry if you had this group in there.
Yeah.
Nah, we can always have another investigation. Always.
Well, I want to remind everybody that's listening and watching, July 25th will be our next show and our next podcast. Angela Eurico Smith is going to be our guest then from Brazil. And she's got a lot of fascinating stories of things that have happened to her
She's had
throughout her life. So,
stuff happening since she was a little child.
yeah.
Crazy stuff.
So it's bound to be a very interesting show. That's July 25th. Same time, same place.
And she's a little witchy too.
I actually won't be able to be here for the 25th.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, I might. It depends. I'm supposed to go to North Carolina. It depends on when I get there. I'll have my computer with me. I might be able to, but I'm not sure what time I'll be getting there.
You have a book signing coming up July
Sunday
1st, right?
Sunday, the 30th, June 30th. Yeah.
Hope it goes well. Let us know. Yeah.
Me too. I actually I made these bookmarks. And my son's like, "What are you doing over there?" I'm like, "Making bookmarks in case somebody wants them." Once I made them fancy, I put little doohickeys on them.
Doohickeys.
That's nice.
Yeah, doohickeys are always good.
Where is it going to be again? Remind me.
The Barnes and Noble in the Lehigh Valley Mall. They had closed it and relocated to a smaller space and totally renovated the old space and then moved back into it. Oops, there's a bug. And they've been celebrating reopening it all month. So I'll be like the last author doing a book signing of the celebration month.
That's so cool.
That would be great.
That's right.
Thanks. Yeah. Hopefully it goes well. And I mean, even if it doesn't in terms of book sales, I love meeting people.
I do too.
And they just talk and they ask you questions and like sometimes it's like somebody you wouldn't even expect to be interested enough to come up to you and start talking, and they stand there and ask like intelligent questions. They're not there to, like years ago I did the first book that I ever had published, so this is a long time ago. It was a historical romance, and some guy comes up, I was doing a book signing, he says, tell me why I should buy a romance. And I said, because if you do, you could make your wife very happy. Goes, okay, give me that.
That's a good approach.
That's very funny.
Too bad if you didn't like the answer.
But yeah, it's so fun to meet people. And it's funny because I used to be so shy. Oh my God. You know, like,
Really?
Don't talk to me. Yeah, don't talk to me. Don't look at me. Don't. And even as I was, like, the kids brought me out a little bit because I had to deal with other
Kids.
adults, you know.
Yeah.
That's the worst part about being a parent. To deal with other grown-ups. I'm like, oh no.
I'm like, I don't fit in with you guys. I'm not a grown-up.
Yeah.
Like,
Please, no, thank you.
but that helped. And then, yeah, I just had to sort of force myself to. And you're right now, you're like, will you shut up? But this is who I've become. This blah, 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 blah person.
I think I came out of the womb talking, you know. I've never been shy, ever. The first thing I ever wrote was when I was in the first grade, which, by the way, I had skipped kindergarten to go into first grade because I was so freaking intelligent. I knew that a lion was brown and had 4 legs instead of 6 or something. Brilliant like that. And I wrote, directed, and starred in the Easter play that my school put on. I was 5 years old.
You know, you said we were sisters of different mothers.
Yeah.
I wrote and illustrated, you know, my first book like at 7, but I skipped kindergarten, started school at 5. I wrote a play in the 3rd grade about Daniel Boone, and directed it. We're like the same person.
We are.
Where can we get a copy of that first book?
Oh, I really wish I had that because it was like on notebook paper, and then I illustrated it with a horse and all this. But yeah, it's long gone, unfortunately. Because it'd be interesting to see now, how I wrote it, what I.
So you weren't that shy if you were directing the play. I directed it and I starred in it though.
Well,
I
in the 5th grade, I wrote another play, and the teacher wanted me to be in it. And I said, I can't. So I made a part for me as a dog hiding under a chair. And that was me.
That's smart.
Yeah, it worked. I was in it. I didn't have to speak. Didn't have to do anything.
That's very funny.
Okay, we should really say goodnight.
Yes, we should.
Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Thanks for having me. So nice to see you guys and meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
And like I said, I may make a trip.
Yes, please do. Let me know if you're coming so I can be here.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be
For
fun.
real. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I guess until next time.
That's all, folks.
Night.
Night.
Good night.